are back for another fantastic episode of the Nick Squared podcast. I'm sure you guys noticed that our name has changed. We are now the Nick Squared Productions. We're going to do way more stuff than just podcast. That's what we're doing today. I'm your host, Nick.
I'm your host, Nick.
In case you forgot, I'm Nick, and we're going to do some stuff. So how was your week, Mr. Nick?
This week was great.
Week was great.
This week was great. We released another little short.
Yeah, those are fun.
Those are fun. They're goofy.
They're goofy. They're fun.
Yeah. Pretty happy how things are going. What about you?
It's been good. It's been a weird 2 weeks. If you live in the South, you experienced what I like to call southern weather. It was nice and toasty warm, like 60 degrees.
Yeah, grilling weather.
Yeah, it was nice. I was walking outside with my kids, just t-shirt and regular pants on, no need for a sweater. And then it got to like 9 degrees.
9 degrees, coldest temperature I've ever felt in my life.
It got real cold. And then when you step outside for your first time with 9 degrees, it just steals a little bit of your soul straight out of your chest. And then 3 days later, it was 60 degrees again.
Yeah.
And sunny. So it was weird. And we had a pipe burst, which...
Us too.
Yeah, that's...
In fact, everyone I knew.
Everybody we knew. So it was weird experiencing that weather. Now we're back to 60s and sunny, and I've got grass growing again. It's like winter never even happened.
Exactly. It's over with.
It's over.
But I had someone, a friend of mine from the north, go, what do you guys know about cold? What do you know about cold? I'm like, I don't care where you are on this planet. 9 degrees is cold.
9 degrees is cold. And so I've lived in Europe. I've spent a lot of time out in Utah where my family lives. They were sending us videos. I think it snowed like a foot or 2 feet in like a three-day period. They've lived there their entire lives. They have lived in snow their entire lives. And you know what happens when it gets really cold and it snows? They complain about how cold it is and how they have to put all these layers on. Like, man, this cold's terrible. This cold sucks. So I don't want to hear it, but you don't know what cold. You hate it too, northern people.
Yeah, they just like posturing.
Yeah. Because when they came down to visit us, it was a while ago, and it was, fall weather. It was nice and cool.
Yeah.
And they did not want to be in our house at all. It was constantly outside. And they're like, it's so warm. Oh, just wait. You don't know what warm is.
Yeah, you've never been hot before in your life.
Yeah. First time when we moved to Georgia, it wasn't the heat. I have experienced heat. We'd gone out when flying out to see our family in Utah. It's a very short drive, and you're in desert country, and it's just dry 100-degree heat. So I've experienced heat before. I didn't understand what humidity was.
It chokes you.
I don't understand how we don't have gills right now. First time walking out of the airport, and that just smog of wet armpit hit me. I felt like I was drowning, and it's been 20 years. I still feel like I'm drowning. If it gets real humid, it's ugh.
Yeah, I was born in the humidity, molded by it, if you will. I've never, ever gotten used to it. No. 30 years of humidity, it still sucks.
It's still, and it's one of those things like you go outside and you're like, I'm going to go cut grass. Everybody cuts grass.
Yeah.
If you've got, it's something, and as a dad, you just feel drawn to cutting grass. You come home,
throw those shorts on, throw on those New Balance.
Yes.
Get to cutting.
And no matter what, I love gardening. I love dealing with my animals. We got farm animals. Like I enjoy being outside. But when your shirt just starts to stick to you within 30 seconds of stepping out the door, you just raise my fists in the air, and I'm like, I haven't even started working yet.
Yeah.
I'm just walking.
Yeah. We're a weather podcast now.
Yeah, we're weather podcast. And we're going to be those old men weather podcasts where it's too cold, it's too hot, too dry, it's too wet. We just hate everything.
Yeah. We're going to start yelling at the sky on stream. Yes.
Yes. Yes. We're just going to point our fingers and shake our fists. Darn you. But no, so other than that, I went back to work this week. Been off of work for 8 weeks. My wife had our third child, and I got to spend 8 weeks just loving bonding time. Spent 8 weeks supporting my wife, trying to help her recover, make sure she was taken care of, just doing everything I could, trying to soak up every bit of joy I could during these 8 weeks. And I'm not gonna lie. So I've been doing my job for 15 years, over 15 years. I've been in this profession, and I feel like I am fairly competent in my profession. After 15 years, I feel like I know what I'm doing. I feel like I could do my job. Something happened week 4 of my leave where I realized I had passed the halfway point, and immediately my anxiety flared up. And I was like, I gotta go back to work.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna remember anything. Everything's changed. I'm not gonna know how to do this job anymore. Like, I thought it was gonna be terrible. And I went back my first day, and I work retail, working the public, and like 6 hours go by, and I was like, immediately riding a bike. I remember
Like
what
you
I was
never
doing.
left.
Like I never left, and it was good. And then I heard the phone call, or the page went out. Hey, we need a manager to pick up on line 1, and that part of my brain hadn't turned back on yet.
Or you're about to get yelled at over the phone.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like it's just somebody with a question, because
Right.
People will call our
You haven't remembered what it's like.
Yeah,
You're like, oh, this everything's going great. Do.
I did, and like nobody was picking up the phone call, and that part of my brain was still in hibernation, and so I'm just bebopping, everything's sunshine and daisies, and I walked into the office, and people are just looking at me, and I'm just boop doop 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 doo, and I hit the buttons on the phone, throw the phone up to my ear, and I'm like, hey, this is Manager Nick, how can I help you? And this old guy just immediately starts cussing. And it's just like, you mother bleeping, I want an official comment from your company on blah, blah, blah. And just starts yelling, I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And the moment the first tone in his voice hit my ear, that part of my brain kicked back on. It was like, we remember, we've messed up. There's a trap. There's a trap. You shouldn't have done this. That's why everyone was looking at you like an idiot. And he starts to go off on why everything was wrong with the world. And I had to physically, first time in a long time, I had to physically tell myself, don't yell back.
Yeah.
Because 8-week brain was like, who is this man?
Right.
You called me.
Yeah.
And you're yelling at me. And he was just berating me. And then so finally I just said, we're going through a tunnel. And hung up.
The store's going through it.
Yeah. It's a weird. Technically, we're all in motion if you think about it.
We're going through a gamma field.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's like click. Solar flares are flaring up right now. And then I hung up and I just shook for a second.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember. Then my back arched a little bit and I started getting my disheveled
Yeah.
walk again, and my feet began to drag. And I was like, yeah, I remember.
Oh yeah, the trombone player showed up.
Yeah, and everyone looked at me and just shook their head and were like, "You fool." But one thing that's weird, and I don't know if other people in other professions get this, when you're off for vacation, when you're off for any amount of time, even if it's just you take a 4-day weekend, you take your family, to go see a movie, whatever. Your first day back, I'd love to know what all the listeners, if they've gone through this. Everybody I saw, nobody asked me or I take it back. Very few people asked me how the baby was doing. Or if they did, it was predicated with the question of, are you glad to be back? Or do you wish you had more time off? And
Who asked that?
everybody, they're like, oh,
That's great.
I bet you're glad to be back. Don't you wish you had more time off with your family? Being a member of your family with your kids, and they were like aggressively asking me these questions, and I was like, yes, of course I do. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
I'm
here so those people can eat.
Yeah, I'm here for those people.
Yeah.
But I feel like those are the same people that when they get into management, they're those people that when we have meetings, like, guys, we're all going to need to stay late tonight. No overtime though, but we're a family here. And I'm like, no, I'm here for money.
Yeah, we're definitely not a family.
Yeah.
You're cool and all.
I'm here for a paycheck, not to socialize.
Oh yeah. Man, I get to go back to work in a month.
How are you?
I've been recovering from a surgery for 6 months almost, and
Because you went out with your baby.
I went out for my baby, came back, worked for a little while. My body was like, "Hey, you want to stop?"
That was scary.
Yeah.
I had to walk you out one day because it was.
Yeah, having an amber lamps called on me was.
Yeah.
That's how we say ambulance.
Yeah.
We say amber lamps.
Ambulance.
That was pretty scary.
Or Bible.
Yeah, but no, they fixed me up, and now I'm a weakling again.
You think you're a weakling?
Yeah, I can only lift like 15 pounds right now.
Oh, get strong, get
I know.
swole. You're so weak.
That's up from 10 pounds last month.
Hey,
Yeah, so that's going to be fun going back to work and not being able to do anything. So,
well, I found a secret, and this is my secret, but I'm going to share it with you guys. It's for Nick's Fitness 2023. If you want to get in phenomenal shape, I found the trick. It's super easy.
please.
Super easy. So, most doctors say you need to walk like 10,000 steps a day to have a healthy lifestyle. So I had an Apple Watch for years, just years. And I am an aggressive sweater.
Okay.
So, and those Apple Watches say they're waterproof, and they are for a time. But then there comes a time when technology is just going to fail.
Right.
So my Apple Watch failed me after a workout several months ago. And I was like, I'm just going to go get a new Apple Watch. Them things got expensive.
Yeah, they're pricey.
Them things 3 digits, and I don't remember spending 3 digits on it. So I refused to buy it. So I found the trick to walking more than 10,000 steps to get extremely healthy is don't get an Apple Watch. What you do is you go find a cheap Chinese knockoff. You want to spend less than $8. And that's why I got a smartwatch for less than $8.
Right.
And the step meter is so sensitive.
You get 10,000 steps just sitting in your room and tapping on your desk.
So all I've done today was ride. I got up, walked around the house a little bit, drove with my wife, take my kids to my parents' house for school, drove my son to his doctor's visit, came back, moved the table a little bit, and according to my $8 watch, I've taken 6,000 steps already.
Congratulations.
And walked almost 6 miles.
Man, that's a lot of calories burned.
I mean, I don't even feel like I'm working that hard.
Yeah.
The other day at work, normally at work on an Apple Watch, I'd get 10 to 12,000 steps. The other day, I hit 37,000.
Oh yeah, that bad boy is juicing you up.
Yeah. So I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of movement on the scale yet, but I know it's coming because I mean, if the doctors say 10,000, I'm hitting almost 40,000 steps a day.
You're there. You're gonna.
I'm gonna be Mr. Olympia 2024.
Yeah, you'll have a 6-pack soon.
So don't worry about working harder. Just get a device that counts weird.
Totally.
And you're fine. Everything's fine. Here's my big question.
Yeah.
You taking your Christmas decorations down yet?
Dude, I didn't ever put any up. I can't do anything. I can't.
You didn't nothing? Not even a light?
Look, no, there was my mom brought over this tiny Christmas tree that she put on a table, and then she just took it off the table.
She said it's so sad here. They bring some joy. This place is killing my joy.
I can't move my Christmas tree box.
I just love that she took it back.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't deserve happiness here.
She took it down after Christmas.
Oh, okay.
It stayed up till the New Year because I guess people are superstitious that way. But
no.
But
we didn't put up a ton of Christmas decorations this year. Usually, what we do is when Christmas would come this year, we would go buy a few new lights. We'd get like a new. I'm not a big inflatable fan.
Right.
I've never been a big.
That reminds me, like, when we were kids and my parents would drive us around to look at lights, we would always just go, "Aw," whenever it was just inflatables.
Right, yeah, it's something. Now, I love the part, when you drive by a house that has lights up during the day, it looks like a normal house. You might see a few lights. But if you drive by a house that has a type of inflatable up, it's a giant massacre.
Yeah, they're all deflated.
They're all deflated and dead, and it's just sad.
It looks messy, really.
But then when you plug them in, they rise from the grave. But every year that's what we would do. We'd go get like 1 or 2 more pieces. I've always wanted to get a Christmas village and have like that huge table covered in the village and all the noise.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I've always wanted that. That stuff's expensive.
Quite. Most people put that together over years.
Yeah, and we've tried that. We've tried buying one little piece here, one little piece there. This year I didn't buy. I think I bought a $20 Grinch flag. That was it.
I talk about the one you had on your porch.
Yeah.
So that you didn't have to put your lights up.
Yes. Well then, no. First of all, sir, we have lights. The problem is several strands were dead.
Right.
And so I did the basic thing of, look, I'll fix them. So I spent 8 hours pulling bulbs, putting bulbs in. Those things are not easy to come out.
No.
I broke several nails. I'm just pulling them out. and I can't get them to fix. I've gotten several strands turned on. I've got several that still won't turn on. Can't figure it out. And so I was like, well, let's go. We bought these at Walmart years ago. Let's go to Walmart and just get new bulbs. Go to Walmart. They don't make that style anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because every couple of years they change the style of bulb, the receptive portion of it.
Yeah.
So you can't take new bulbs and put in old strands.
Right. They want you to buy new strands.
Buy new strands. So I was like, we'll just buy new strands. We found ones that match. $54 a box.
Shoo-wee. That's something else.
For lights. And I'm like, I'm not spending $150 for 3 boxes of lights to go on my porch. And so I was convinced that we were just going to take our Christmas lights down. Like, there's no outside lights this year. And then my wife walked by the Grinch flag, and she's like, I got an idea. $20, got a Grinch flag. Threw all the light, like a third of my front porch has lights on it. And we literally just dropped the other lights in a pile.
Yeah.
Just a glowing pile, and then put the Grinch flag right there, so it looks like he's hanging from my porch, and it looks like he's taking lights out.
Yeah.
All the neighbors loved it, and they're like, "That's so smart." I'm just like, "Yes,
Yes, I'm very smart.
yes, we did this on purpose. We didn't waste 8 hours of our day playing with little blinky lights."
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's funny.
no, we've started taking Christmas down. It's weird. We're big Christmas fans. We enjoy the holidays. We watch Christmas movies. We did a Christmas episode for the podcast. And I feel like for months, and Christmas gets earlier every year. I know Hobby Lobby has it up in like June.
Yeah.
But like by October, you got Christmas decorations showing up in stores.
For sure.
Yeah, October, November, December, Christmas. And then it feels like January 1st. It is trying to wipe that memory from you. So
Christmas isn't real. Yeah. Valentine's Day is.
Yes, Valentine's Day is now real. So we usually try to leave our tree up a little bit, but now it's to the point where I see it and I go, "Oh, Christmas is over."
Yeah.
I have no joy left in my life, not till next year. So we're getting ready to take it all down. We're slowly taking it down. Now Valentine's Day, do you do anything for that crap?
The only thing I do, my daughter likes stuffed animals.
Yeah. So
I'll make pancakes in the morning, but I always do. But this time I just make them heart shaped and dye them pink.
Oh, you are so nice.
Yeah, I make pancakes anyway.
Yeah.
But on that day, I'll dye them pink and do a heart shape, and I'll make some strawberry whipped cream.
Yeah.
From scratch. Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Sorry.
Ladies, calm down. He is taken.
And I'll take my daughter to the store, let her pick out her a stuffed animal, and let her pick out her mom a stuffed animal. I'll do that, but other than that, that's it. I usually try to do Valentine's Day once a week.
Oh my goodness. Ladies, stop commenting. He's taken. Have you ever gotten hate for not going big on Valentine's?
No.
Really?
No, Ariel, my wife is...
No, not from her.
Oh, from
other people.
No. You?
Yes.
Oh, I don't advertise my my stuff out there.
No, but so Amber used to. This happened at work. Like, again, you work in the public.
Right.
Is people would go to work on Valentine's Day because it's not a real holiday. So you're there working, and then people who have like a boyfriend that they've had for like 2 weeks or their 8th boyfriend of the month or something,
right,
would get this huge array of flowers. And then somebody would come up and go like, "Oh, he went to Jared," and they would show off what jewelry piece.
Oh God.
And then immediately they would turn and look at Amber and be like, "Well, what did you get?" And she'd go, "Well, we don't celebrate." And they go, "Ugh.
Wow.
Your husband doesn't do anything for Valentine's Day?" And she would be like, "Look, you were just talking 3 days ago about how you want to leave your husband and you're sick and tired of him. But right. Because he got you a piece of compressed carbon
right.
on your finger, now everything he's done this year is better. It's okay."
Yeah, that's wacky. Be good to your significant other every day.
Every day. And
we're better than you. No, I'm just kidding.
But no, we would tell people, even at church, even in our family, I would explain that, I don't celebrate these holidays that I feel are overly commercialized.
Right. Because Valentine's Day is the most commercialized.
No one needs a $200 6-foot bear.
No.
They don't. They don't need it. I'm sorry.
That's something you have to throw away later.
Where do you store that?
Yeah.
And so I would see this, and I would explain to people that, look, it's overly commercialized. It's all about the candy. It's all about spending money. And everybody I would tell it to would go, "We agree with you 100%. And I go, "Great, that's why I don't celebrate." And they go, "You don't celebrate it?"
It's like, dude,
We just explained it, and like we agree with
Make
you
a
that
better holiday.
make a better holiday. And I would again working retail. Do you know when we sell 90% of our Valentine's
The
stuff?
day after.
No, the day before.
Really? Oh, because everyone's like, oh God, I gotta.
It's all.
Oh yeah, it is crazy in there the day before Valentine's Day.
You will see people coming in and they will get mad. I need a gift that tells my woman how much I love her. Valentine's Day is today.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I can't get a discount on this? No. Well, you just ruined my Valentine's.
I did?
I did. Oh, yeah, it's always personal. It's always personal. But no, we don't celebrate it. We used to celebrate it hard the day after with all the candy.
Oh, yeah.
50% off candy.
I mean, yeah, that's fun.
Reese's.
Look, I will do things if it's fun.
If it's fun. And Reese's tastes better in shapes.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. You're right.
So you get the heart shapes, the tree, the pumpkin. I mean, all that tastes so much better.
Eggs on Easter.
Oh, man. Yeah. Easter's already coming in.
Jesus.
It's literally January.
But I get really lucky when it comes to gifts because my wife hates diamonds because she's like super jaded about the industry.
Where they
people
come
die.
from. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't ever have to buy jewelry. One, because she knows my taste sucks. This shiny, right? You like shiny?
This shiny.
And she goes, no. It's like,
you could save yourself so much money if instead of buying jewelry, you just bought whatever LED lights they use in the jewelry store.
yeah, just just wear them.
Yeah, just like, look how shiny
Look how
it is.
shiny this is. Yeah.
Because I've bought jewelry at a jewelry store. And
800 points of light coming off of it.
Yes, and I mean I bought
Looks
jewelry.
like a Silmaril.
Yes, it's the Arkenstone.
Yeah.
I bought things for my wife where like they give you paperwork. Like that first time I bought like real jewelry where they give you like insurance paperwork and warranty paper. They give you like a book to go with this ring, and then I walk outside under the sun. And I'm like, how does it look outside? And it's like dingy rust colored. And I'm like, what happened? And they're over there pointing, laughing. It only looks good under these lights, buddy.
Yep.
So, no, we don't celebrate that. One thing, and you brought up gifts. I was completely blown away, and you're gonna laugh, and I'm sure a lot of people are gonna laugh because I didn't realize this was a thing. The way that our house works is, my wife runs all the finances, runs all of that. So. If we need groceries or something, we'll make a list together, and she'll order everything. She handles all the account, all that's through her. So I don't spend a lot of time on like Amazon or eBay or anything like that because I don't buy anything. So when we were buying gifts for people and we were trying to get ready for Christmas and try to figure out what we want, we do the dance that I think most couples do. What do you want? Nothing. I have everything I want. you go back and forth. Well, I went to buy one of our friends their Christmas, and I texted my best friend. I said, "Hey, what does your wife want for Christmas?" Sent me a screenshot of her Amazon Christmas wish list.
Whoa!
Bloop, and said, "Hey, this is what's on her Christmas wish list," and I said, "This is so easy."
Yeah.
You just boop. I want these 4 or 5 items. These exact takes all the guesswork out of it. And I was like, man, this is revolutionary that people make wish lists.
Yeah.
And when I went back to work, everybody was laughing at me because they're like, yeah, you can share your wish list with your family. And everybody did it. And I was like, man, I would sit around stroking my face going, what gift can I get somebody? Had no idea that there's wish lists out there.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty common now.
Yeah, I hate you.
Yeah.
Every time I think we're past this and I'm going to feel young and hip again, you make me feel like I'm 97 trying to figure out, well, where's the cord to my phone to plug it in the wall to make the phone calls work? That's what I feel like. And I feel bad because technology's taken over everything, and I see 90-year-old people coming to the store to buy electronics, and they're like, we just wanted to play the VHS. And I'm like, I feel you. I understand, but there's nothing for us anymore.
Wow. You gotta evolve.
No,
always be evolving.
I've started really liking Jell-O, so I'm just prepping for the next
You're just prepping, okay, yeah.
It's easier for me just to go ahead and
You're what, 32?
33.
Yeah, you need to be young again. Just be young. You're young, we're young.
How long until I can go? Nursing homes sound great. What are you talking about?
They're not.
People just wake me up and go play bingo. I love bingo.
It's much worse than that. Oh.
I get tapioca pudding instead of pistachio.
Tapioca is
pudding.
delicious.
It's all pudding is delicious.
Yeah, I love pudding.
Pudding's fantastic.
I guess,
I accept my age.
Okay.
I mean, just give me a walker.
There you go.
Sometimes my back hurts and I'd like to
Yeah.
win.
Nick's incredibly physically fit. For anyone that doesn't know him, his body's in great shape.
Waiting until we go do our first live video and they're like, "What the heck is this guy?"
Yeah. Where those? He wears shirts that are a size too small for him, so you can see his boobs and his arms.
That's absolutely. What's the point of working out if I can't flaunt it?
I guess so.
So no. I keep bouncing back in these weird body types where I'll drop a ton of weight, I'll cut for 2 or 3 months,
Right.
and mediums will be like, hey, that fits, it looks really good, and then I'll finish a cut cycle for 2 or 3 months, and then I'll be like, all right, now it's time to bulk up, which is I get to eat heavy, I get to lift heavy, and I'll put on 20 pounds, and now larges don't fit.
Right.
And it doesn't help that I'm tall and lanky with
And
long
you already
arms.
have the whole.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
my shirt, the shirt I'm wearing now, you all can't see me, but the shirt I'm wearing now fits me lengthwise. But with guys' shirts that fit me, this is a large, it's fitting me length size. The sleeves are 5.5 inches. My arms are 4 feet long, so it literally barely covers my shoulder. It doesn't cover my bicep at all, and it's not my fault. They just don't make long shirts.
There you go. Yeah, you muscly guys are just discriminated against.
Yeah, it's really hard. Okay.
Everyone knows that society looks down on tall, buff men.
Yes. Thank you. Finally. Finally. I feel accepted. But no, so working this week, it's taken me away from having been able to watch a lot of TV. I haven't been able to do a lot of stuff. I'm trying to watch, I think it's called Pale Blue Eyes.
Oh, I watched that today.
Did you really?
So good.
So we talked about this on our movie episode last week.
The performances are better than the story. I will say that.
Okay. Well, we talked about movies coming out of left field.
Yeah.
I
That came out of left field.
I didn't know anything about it.
Yep.
And so they said, hey, they're making a movie called Pale Blue Eyes. It's a Edgar Allan Poe movie. Stop.
It is an Edgar Allan Poe movie, quotation marks.
Well, they said he's in there, and the moment they make movies about writers,
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I thought The Raven was fantastic. Did you ever watch Tolkien's movie?
No, with Nicholas Holt?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Oh my goodness, can't find it anywhere.
Right, yeah, that's why I haven't seen it.
It's really weird. I'm hoping we find it tomorrow.
Yeah. But
And it had Christian Bale
yeah, it did. He was good in it.
and the guy who played Edgar Allan Poe. I'm sorry, I don't remember. your
Big
name.
D.
Yeah,
Dudley.
Dude, he has warmed my heart.
He's so good.
He's so good. And I watched an interview with him, and they were like, you didn't get typecast as Harry Potter. And he goes, I did. And he goes, but the worst part about being typecast as a Harry Potter actor is when you don't feel like a Harry Potter actor.
Right, because he wasn't.
He's like, I didn't go to...
He met Daniel, and that's it.
He's like, all my filming was done away from the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
I didn't get to go to the castle. I'm not a wizard. He was like, I'm forever, tied to Harry Potter, but I didn't get any of the fun Harry Potter stuff.
Right, that's gotta suck, actually.
And I was like, man, now I'm hoping for success. He's lost a lot of weight. Looks great. He seems like he's feeling great.
Great actor. Great actor.
But so, what did you think about the movie? Give me a little.
Pale Blue Eye?
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. People have gotten mad. Spoilers.
Spoilers for a while. We're talking about movies for a minute, probably.
Actually, every episode we do,
we're
yeah.
spoilery people, just
Yeah.
so you guys know.
We enjoy talking. So, Pale Blue Eyes. I know nothing of the story. I know Edgar Allan Poe. I know Christian Bale's in it.
So Edgar Allan Poe is a cadet at this military academy.
Okay.
But this other cadet winds up hung, his heart removed, and they don't know who did it.
Okay.
They call in Christian Bale's character, Landor, I believe his last name. I don't remember his first name. He's an investigator, and he's there to investigate the murder.
I hear you laugh when we're talking about murder. You're like,
sorry, I'm thinking about how this movie just went hard left. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it gets into, you think it's a murder mystery, and it is, but then it gets into they're killing these people for a satanic ritual to keep this woman alive longer than she's supposed to.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it now.
Oh,
I want
okay.
you to watch it because it gets so good.
You enjoyed it,
and
though.
I enjoyed it. Yes.
Okay.
Um, and we were talking about last episode how like you put something on, you end up playing on your phone. I didn't do that with this. The performances were much better than the actual story. In fact, I don't think these actors belonged in this movie, but they were there anyway.
And Christian Bale, to me, I know he gets typecast as Batman.
He does.
I think he's actually a very talented actor. I
Why?
think he has, because and this is against the I guess the popular opinion. The Dark Knight series I think is a great standalone series. Probably one of my least favorite Batman series.
Really?
And I say that because when I think of Batman, I think of the wide picture of Batman. I think of the detective. I think of the member of the Justice League. I think of
world saving.
Yeah, I think of that. Dark Knight was fantastic. It was dark. It was
Very grounded.
very grounded, very realistic almost.
Yeah.
For a superhero movie, that Christian Bale's Batman could never be in the Justice League.
No.
There's no purpose for him to be in that Justice League.
Right.
I liked the Batman, even in the cartoons and the comics, that had contingency plans for everything and had figured out everything and was always 10 steps ahead, even with villains when they were like, ha, surprise, got you. And then boom,
Like,
you realize.
turns out you didn't get me.
Yes.
I got you.
It's a giant, punchy chess game.
Yeah.
And I felt like the
He
Christian...
got godded in Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, he got it, and it had the punchy.
Yeah.
I didn't get a whole lot of the gadgets. I didn't get a whole lot of, and it's not just the regular gadgets; it's the weird, funny gadgets.
Yeah.
The shark repellent spray. He has a gadget for everything because he's thought of everything.
Exactly.
Batman utility belt was huge when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that that's where he kept his throwing stars.
Yeah, you're right.
But again, and the movies were great for
Good
what they
movies,
were.
I mean,
But I think Christian Bale, I know he got typecast at, but he lost a ton of weight for the role before.
yep, but beefed up for that.
Beefed up for that. And I think that does a lot when people have to get physically into a certain shape for a movie. That's not makeup. You are becoming this character.
Yeah. Speaking of which, have you seen The Whale?
I have not. Brendan Fraser.
I've only seen the trailer, and the trailer made me tear up. So I can't wait to see that.
Very excited. And I mean, I know we've talked about movies, talked about all kinds of stuff. Brendan Fraser. Brendan. I hope nothing but good things continue to come for him.
Me too.
I love the fact that there's this resurgent in him. Because, I mean, as a kid, George of the Jungle was right?
Yeah.
The Mummy movies.
Oh, those movies are so good.
So good. Journey to the Center of the Earth. I was there for his comic action.
Yeah.
I know he has serious movies on top of that, but I was a kid.
I was there for that.
Yeah, I was there for that.
That's what he was.
And he was one of those few people that I saw on film and hoped was as good of a person as they were in real life. Turns out he is, if not better.
Yeah. Turns out he's really not a funny guy in real life either. He's super serious.
Yes, he takes his role very seriously.
Yeah, like that is acting he's doing. Like it's not like where most comedic actors put themselves in wacky situations, Brendan Fraser is acting like he's a very stern guy.
Yeah, I was also...
But his heart is huge.
I was a huge Pauly Shore fan.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Wow.
That comedy was...
He's comedy royalty.
Yeah. And so I watched, was it Encino Man, Biodome, Son-in-Law. I loved those movies, and then Brendan came right into them.
Yeah, well, Pauly Shore really gave him a leg up there.
So did Adam Sandler, apparently.
Yeah, Adam Sandler and Airheads.
Yeah. Apparently he wasn't even going to be in Airheads, and Adam
Sandler fought for him, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy deserves everything he gets.
I'm hoping
I'm glad he was in Doom Patrol for, he was the voice, but still. But The Whale, I can't wait for that. Have you watched The Menu?
I have not.
Everyone...
Didn't even know, haven't heard about this.
Everyone needs to see The Menu. It's a horror movie. I'd call it a horror thriller comedy, because...
What? Okay.
Will Ferrell and Adam McKay ended their partnership a while ago. Adam McKay is a producer, director. Him and Will Ferrell made a lot of projects together. I think they made Talladega Nights and Step Brothers together. They were the executive producers of this comedy horror.
Is this comedy horror like? Did you ever watch Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
No, it's not like that.
Okay.
It is very deep. It's so deep.
Ooh.
It's more of this movie is really about the movie industry, and there's a character that Nicholas Hoult plays. That character is just people like us that talk about movies, mainly Star Wars fans that are like, you know, they're like all griping about that movie, but you couldn't make that movie, you know?
No.
You know? But watch The Menu. The Menu blew me away.
I'll have to watch it. And one thing, where is that? Well, first off, where's it on?
HBO Max.
HBO Max. Menu.
Yep.
I'll
The
watch it.
Menu.
The Menu.
Ray Fine is the main guy there. Anya Taylor-Joy, who apparently just gets to be in every good movie. Apparently.
But I was talking to somebody. One thing that's been really weird. So, being a writer and putting books out in a community that doesn't really read, mm-hmm. I've only ran into a few people in day-to-day lives that I've read your books, because not most people in my circle doesn't read.
Right.
They're not big. Let me go out and find a new book to read. But since we started this, I've had a lot of people approach me. They've watched our ads, our commercials. They've watched these episodes. They listened. And somebody brought up a comment about Star Wars where they were like, when you think about the new Star Wars movies, it's very easy for us to sit back and go, we would have done it different.
Right.
But they were standing or looking at a blank screen
mm-hmm.
and had to go from scratch.
Yeah.
My argument to that is, why didn't they upload George Lucas's scripts?
Right.
They didn't have to look at a blank screen.
There's a lot of content showing what happens after Empire. I mean, after Jedi.
Tons of books, tons of
books
graphic
that
novels.
they could have drawn from. But I can't go make a Star Wars movie.
No. We're gonna
no.
make a Star Wars commercial.
I'm not even. Yeah, we are.
Yeah. And it's gonna be great, better than
better than Star Wars. People are gonna be talking about this skit we do for 30 years.
30 years. They're gonna cosplay us.
Yeah. No. But no. Star Wars. The sequel sucked. No. But no, I get it. I can tell that being a creative person is hard.
Being a creative person is hard. Especially when you have expectations.
Exactly.
When you're creating things like The Menu, when you're creating things that have nothing to compare it to.
Yeah.
And even if they have a book for source material.
Right.
It's a book. You can make your adaptation, twist it how you want. But when you're coming in at the end of an era,
mm-hmm.
and I talked about this with some people at work. For those of you who have watched Game of Thrones, which I'm assuming is most people have watched Game of Thrones, I did not hate the final season.
Okay.
And the reason why is going into it, the moment they said we want to do 2 more seasons, 10 episodes each, an hour long each, and they cut it back to the final season was going to be like 6 episodes, and they weren't going to do a season after.
Right.
The moment that happened, I was like, they're going to steam through what they should have flushed out. We're going to see a lot of characters die very quickly. But when you look at Game of Thrones as a whole, they killed off 90% of my favorite people.
Yeah.
The whole show was nothing but plot twists and me going, no, don't do that. So for a final season to do that, is far for the course.
The theme, huh?
But they were trying to move on to other things, and I think once you start adding in that sort of overhang, when you have producers and you have companies coming in and telling you what you can and can't do,
mm-hmm.
and then you make a movie and then everyone points at you and go, you made a trash movie. Well, they weren't given limitless ideas. They weren't given, hey, do whatever you want to do, we'll back you. They were told, you need to end it this season. Okay, well, now we're going to have to rush through and do that.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing's happening why we don't have Winds of Winter yet from George R. R. Martin.
He's terrified.
I think he's terrified. The mob is angry, man.
Yeah, they're like, give us the real ending.
Give us the real.
When chances are, that was the real ending. That was chances are he said this is where I wanted to end up, and then it did.
There's a few slight different. If you've read the books, right?
No.
Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting. It's funny, and I'm very glad we are this way. Because you know far more about the cinema and movies and shows and I know the literature side of it.
Yeah.
And I enjoy this. So in the books, spoilers. The book came out.
Spoilers for Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, the last book came. I think Dance of Dragons came out like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So just calm down. So where the book ends off is where Jon Snow gets stabbed.
That's where it's left now.
That's where it's left. So we don't have him.
We don't even know if he's coming back.
No.
Honestly.
But some of the big twists and turns that they did not put in the show was one is Dany's not the last Targaryen.
Right. There's this other one bopping around, right?
Yes, who's in charge of the Golden? I think the Golden Company.
Yeah.
Is coming to Westeros to invade Westeros to pave the way because he knows Dany's out there with dragons in Meereen, so he's on his way to. If I'm, it's also been years since I've read. I could be misquoting it. So Jon Snow, we don't know what happens to him, but his mom, or his stepmom, or not.
She's
stepmom.
like a mystical being, right?
Yeah, so they cut her throat at the Red Wedding. Well, they bring her back. The Red God brings her back, but she can't talk.
Right.
Well, she just starts like hanging people and just like killing people, like
That's cool.
people that have done her wrong.
Yeah.
She captures Brienne of Tarth.
Whoa! So that's left there.
And is like, you failed my family. You were supposed to protect my kids and protect me, and you failed. This all we see from her.
Oh man!
So there's potential. You have characters that aren't.
And there's this mystery character, this man, right? Like this is like, what are they? Like I said, I haven't read it, but it's heavily implied that this mystery guy is a resurrected Ned Stark.
Yeah, so the Red God resurrects a lot of people.
Right.
Which brings up, I'm fine with religion being in books because I think that adds a lot more to the world.
Gotta build a world.
Yeah, you gotta build a world. So when you throw in religion and currency and stuff like that, that's fine. I love it. Give me more of it. But when you have a world that has like multiple religions, like Westeros, you have the old gods.
Yeah.
You have the Seven.
Yep.
You've got the Red God, and the Many-Faced God, which I think the Many-Faced God and the Red God are similar enough to where it's almost the same.
Right.
But so just take those, and I know there's more gods. Dorne has theirs. Everyone has theirs. So you've got these gods. Oh, and then you've got the Drowned God.
Yeah.
The
Iron Isles.
From the Iron Isles. So the Drowned God, which they drown people and then give them CPR and bring them back, and like, oh, the Drowned God brought them back.
Right.
You gave them CPR. Then you have the Seven that don't seem to do anything. You have the old gods, which are just creepy trees that don't seem to really do anything.
Yeah.
Which granted, Bran.
Then you have the Lord of Light.
You have the Lord of Light who's catching swords on fire, bringing people back from the dead.
Everyone's like, nah.
Everyone's like, that's not real.
Ah, well,
that's not real.
Yeah.
And then that's baffled me. Then you have the Many-Faced God, which is giving people many faces.
Yeah, it's like.
Put fingers in my ears. I'm going to go talk to these trees.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Crazy talk. Talk. But so, and then this week.
Now I heard another thing. I heard that Euron Greyjoy, is like trying to usurp the Drowned God in the book or whatever and become this evil, awesome being, and he's scary and not just some scoundrel.
A lot more. Well, then they have this horn. It's supposed to be like a dragon horn.
Yeah. And
when this one guy blows it, it literally like burns him and kills him while he's doing it. And then if you read some of his other works, there's supposed to be another horn north of the wall that summons in an ice dragon.
Whoa.
And the army of the wildlings have this horn and are going to break the wall with this ice dragon. They summon with that. So there's a lot.
There was not enough fantasy in the TV series. They already said it.
No. Fantasy. They did fantasy in the beginning, and then they said now we're just going to make it a Big Brother Survivor, drama.
Right. The problem is fantasy doesn't translate. Historically, fantasy doesn't do well on television. I think we're finding that out with the new Willow series.
So, I've never watched.
Never seen Willow?
Never saw Willow.
Hey man, I'm not gonna yell at you. You should watch Willow though.
So I don't know.
It's so fantasy. It is the most fantasy thing that came out in that era, I think, other than maybe Legend. Have you seen Legend?
No.
This is the fantasy guy. I'm talking to
book
the fantasy guy. No, you need to watch Legend. You need to watch Willow.
Is that the one with Keanu Reeves?
No, Legend had Tom Cruise.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Who was the bad guy?
Tim Curry.
Okay, yes.
Big Satan guy.
Yes. So
essentially Satan.
I knew that Tim Curry had played it. I'm familiar.
Essentially, Satan is the name of my band. Go look us up on Spotify.
Oh my god. People are gonna start searching it. They're gonna get a rude awakening when they find that.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, so TV for me really wasn't my medium because we didn't have it. So
Right, yeah, I hear you.
Being raised without it,
Well, those are movies I just mentioned, but
yeah.
but yeah,
Anything you wanted, you had to get shipped stateside.
true. So you missed out on there's this aesthetic of 80s and early 90s dark fantasy TV shows. Everything's candlelit, and it's always big, muscly guy with unrealistically huge swords, and they always have
Conan?
a pet. Yeah, Conan. But there were other, there were things trying to cash in on that Conan atmosphere back in the day.
I'm still
All
trying.
the
That's why I work out. I want to be Conan
Oh,
one day.
okay, yeah, totally. You want to be able to swing a sword that's 3 times your height.
Look, back to Game of Thrones. The
Yeah.
Mountain.
Oh yeah, big guy.
Thor Bjornsson.
Yeah, he's impressive.
That was ridiculous. But no, so I was raised. Yeah, I was born in '89, so I, technically an '80s baby, raised in the '90s, but I was actually raised in like the '60s,
Because of how far back you.
Yeah, so I knew Home Improvement because of my grandparents sent me VHSs. That was about it. Saved by the Bell, nothing. Family Matters, never seen it. What else? Just start naming shows, and I'll probably never.
Full
seen
House.
It. No,
Oh,
I know of it. My sister's a big fan.
Right.
I've probably watched less than 2 episodes.
Yeah, those were all a little before me. I remember Full House. Fresh Prince.
I know it. I know it because of my adult time.
Right.
I saw that in my late 20s.
Ah, okay.
Because everybody kept yelling, "You need to watch Fresh Prince."
Good show, right?
Oh my goodness!
The acting is way too good for a sitcom.
The acting's way too good. The stories are way too good.
Yeah.
Like they real world issues that are completely skipped over in today's TV.
Yeah, they talked about that
They
stuff.
talked about it and cried through it, and that's good stuff. Yes.
And so, you know what? Someone talked to me the other day, and I got a little upset with them because I do that about pop culture for some reason. They were like, "Man, isn't it crazy that that guy from that sitcom, Will Smith, is such a good actor?" And I was like, "No, it's not crazy. They did such good acting on that show.
Yeah.
Like,
He was phenomenal.
Yeah, better sitcom acting than other stuff I've seen."
Now, I am an avid believer that everybody, to some degree, sucks.
Sure, yeah.
We all make mistakes. Nobody's better than anybody else. We're not going to cash in and go all crazy with Will Smith's slap and stuff like that. I don't agree with violence like
Sure,
that.
yeah.
Looking back on his acting, Men in Black,
Great
movie. Wild Wild West,
Good movie. Well,
Good.
he was a good part of the movie. But
yes.
I think it's wacky enough to work. That movie was never supposed to be taken seriously.
But boy, was it good.
It was good, yeah.
It was good. Was it I Am Legend?
Yeah, he did that.
Pursuit of Happiness.
God, that's a good movie. The guy does good movies.
He does good movies.
Here's the problem with people involved in Scientology. They do good movies.
He's a Scientologist?
I think they're involved in it. I'm pretty sure that his wife. Don't take anything I say seriously. I don't know these people.
We fact checked everything we're talking about.
I'm pretty sure that if you don't know how Scientology works, if you're above someone in the hierarchy of Scientology, you can spit in their face, kick them in the balls, shoot them, and they're not allowed to do anything to you. They're not allowed to bring up legal action. He's not allowed to divorce his wife because she's of a higher rank in Scientology. If he wants to, he can't leave.
So he would need to rank up.
Or leave Scientology, but they would harass him for the rest of his life and ruin his career.
That happened to Tom Cruise's.
Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They still, I'm pretty sure, send her letters.
Wow.
David Miscavige, the leader of Scientology right now, he's on the run. No one knows where he's at. His wife's been missing for years. We're gonna get brigaded in the comments from they have social media people. Now I don't think we have a wide enough reach for it to matter, but they have social media people that go scour the internet to quote unquote debunk things about Scientology.
So we've talked about this loosely, and this podcast is meant, and it's for us to have fun and talk.
Yeah.
Us to talk about just fun topics that we are involved in. We do keep it clean. We don't want to do anything vastly or wildly inappropriate. But I am religious. I'm a Christian.
Me too.
And I'm very, 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 very big on my religion. I study it out. I read. I pray. I'm a very active participant. And in my walk with God, I've studied other religions. One to I love knowledge and I love learning, and I'm interested in history.
Plus, it's just world culture.
It's world culture, yeah. And at the end of the day, and I know you and I have a similar aspect on this. I don't want to unknowingly offend people, their culture, anything of that matter, without due cause.
Right.
I don't want to say something that's going to offend you when I didn't mean to do that.
Right.
That's causing unnecessary hurt on people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll educate myself, and I love learning. Never researched out Scientology.
You should, and they have anyone that knowingly is involved in Scientology beyond the bottom level knows things that make them a terrible person the more they move up, I think.
Really?
Because you have to honestly believe you are naturally better than the people below you. They believe they are better than the people that aren't Scientologists.
Wow.
If anyone speaks out against Scientologists, they have this amazing legal team that are all Scientologists that will come after you. They own the Cult Awareness Network now. They won a lawsuit against the Cult Awareness Network, and now they own it.
Oh my goodness. We're getting
it's a religion that was made up by a guy named L. Ron Hubbard for a bet, and he ran with it, man.
How old
Terrible sci-fi rap. Huh?
How old is the religion?
I think it came about in the 60s or 70s.
Okay.
Very new. It's not... I think it's classified as a religion technically because of how many people practice it. But it's insane, man. He's a sci-fi writer. Him and two other sci-fi writers got into this bet and said, I bet we can make a religion. And he did it. And if they came up with Battlefield Earth sucks. I think it's terrible sci-fi. I really do. That's separate from my feelings on Scientology. I think it's a horrible story. But man, if he would have wrote the story of Scientology into a story, I'd read a book about Xenu.
What if this is all him doing prep work, and then he comes out in a few years, and they all come out?
Well, he's dead.
Well, then like his estate come out, and they go, "Hey, all this was fake. It was just for a book idea."
They know.
They put a book on the table. All the Scientologists are sitting there drooling at them, going, "What?" And like, "Yeah, this is just a joke."
So plain and simple, other than maybe Tom Cruise, I think they all know.
Except for Tom Cruise.
I think he genuinely believes it. He's just too enthusiastic. He saluted a picture of L. Ron Hubbard, and they're trying to scrub the internet of that video, but it's there. But no, they know it's about the power they get. Look, their legal team is so good, and once you reach a certain level, I don't remember the names of them, but they have names for these levels. You're allowed to kill people.
What?
Yeah, they're like, you're untouchable. Basically, and the church is like, if you kill someone and they find out it's you, don't worry, we got you.
Well, now I will say I've seen where people, what's his name from that '70s show?
Hyde, yeah. Oh yeah, they're protecting him.
Yeah, the moment, because he was on the ranch with
Ashton Kutcher.
I just keep wanting to call him Kelso. I relate to the characters, not the people. Yeah. But I remember that the moment that the accusations started coming out, it was boom. He was gone. He was living on a compound. It was nobody could reach him. They just absorbed him back in, and you sit tight here.
So the reason I know so much, when I was in college, I was gonna take classes. I wanted to research cults.
Yeah.
And I did. And Scientology is the most successful cult ever.
I would have to agree, just based on what I know of other cults and based on what you're telling me now. One is the fact that they are still actively growing.
Yeah, they're getting
most cults
huge and
plateau, start to go down, and then have a very terrible, abrupt ending.
Right. Well, the good news is, no matter what, a cult usually destroys itself.
Has to.
It usually does. I think maybe Waco's the closest thing to outside influence destroying the cult, but they ended up destroying themselves too. But they end up wrecking themselves. I'm pretty sure with David Miscavige being on the run, he's probably gone off the deep end finally. We'll see what happens. They're always the way that's ingrained to like like Hollywood culture now. I think there'll always be some form of Scientology now.
Well, I'm sure that when we were talking about Brendan Fraser, we're talking about all these other actors. I think Johnny Depp was waiting at a bar when he was discovered or something.
Something like that.
Most of these people are so and everybody would be if somebody came in and said, "Hey, you've got the thing.
Right.
We'll give you $1 million. Come be an actor. You're never gonna have to work a day. You're never gonna have to worry about bills."
Yeah, you do it. Take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you're gonna do it. And then for them to say, and we've seen thousands of documentaries, thousands of court cases where people take advantage of people and say, "Hey, it's Hollywood, baby."
Right.
And
that's just the way it is.
This is the way it is. And then they take people under their wing. This is in all forms of life. Mm-hmm. You go to a church, somebody takes you under your wing. You start a new job, you have a mentor.
Yeah, you have mentors.
Yeah. So it would make sense that it's so easy to recruit to say, "Look, I'm hyper famous."
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between famous and
Brad Pitt.
Yes.
Elvis.
Yeah. Where they're going to sit down, hey, you might be famous for a few years, and then you have the ones that have stood 20, 30 years. Right. And for them to come in and say, "Hey, come join my team, come join this," and they fall right in line. And before you know it, like you said, if it's layered anything like some of the other cults where as you grow up in layers, you also have to do things that they can now blackmail and keep you in. You have to stay.
Yeah, you find out the thing. It's like the mob.
Yeah. If you leave, you're not just going to walk away and wash your hands of it. Bad things are going to happen.
Well, I'm hoping that now, obviously, I'm not in that industry, but I've heard that with productions leaving the Los Angeles area and stuff like they are now, here in Atlanta, it's getting pretty big. I think that a bit of that's changing, and it's getting better the more production companies you have. Remember we were talking about it was just Universal, MGM, Fox. Mm-hmm. Now there's a bunch of stuff people can do outside of those companies. It doesn't make or break you. I'm hoping that culture is changing.
Yes.
They're weeding. If they can get rid of Harvey Weinstein, that guy was considered untouchable for a while. So if that's a good sign, I think. Well, but Scientology does feed on that.
We're also we're getting into some weird stuff that's happening in our time. Brandon Sanderson is a phenomenal writer. Writes for Thor, and probably their most profitable writer for years. Probably keeps that, and that for those we're going to get into some weird nerd stuff. The stuff that I really found interesting was you had back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you had all these publishing houses.
Yeah.
You could submit unsolicited query letters or manuscripts and get published. Well, then what happened was some of the bigger houses started buying up smaller houses.
Right.
And then other bigger houses saw that and bought up their smaller houses until you have like Penguin, Macmillan. I want to say it's either 3 or 7. I can never remember. But there's that pretty much own everything.
Right.
But they leave those publishing houses as small little groups. So like this is Tor is a science fiction fantasy part of Macmillan. So Macmillan doesn't produce science fiction and fantasy, but they do because they own them.
Right.
And so it's weird. Everybody's owned by everybody, except for the big companies. Well, he's probably the profiting guy at that company. And he's even said it. He's come out and he's like, "Look, I make them more money than all their other writers combined."
I mean, it's
And I mean, that's not bragging. That's we look at numbers and that's what the numbers say. Well, then COVID hit and he went into hiding for 7.5 hours, and in that 7.5 hours, he wrote like 20 books. Like it was he went radio silent for a little bit, which authors do all the time.
Right.
Authors aren't rock stars.
Right. They don't like being in the spotlight and stuff.
One, they don't like being in the spotlight, and two, people don't care.
Oh yeah, I mean,
they see him for a second.
If you're not Stephen King, I mean.
Well, even Stephen King, we're not running around with our shirts off and writing music. We're sitting in front of a computer or a typewriter or a piece of paper, and we go, scribble, 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 scribble,
Right.
That is our work. We're not over there just playing a guitar, eyes closed.
There's no reason to keep looking sexy if you're an author, right?
There's no. And you don't get enjoyment by just being around. Like if you're around a musician and they're doing their art,
Right.
everybody in the room can enjoy.
But if you're watching a guy write a book, it's like, okay.
If you enjoy that, go to Starbucks.
Yeah.
Everybody there's writing.
Yeah.
But so he wrote like 15 books, but he's self-publishing most of them. And he did a Kickstarter. He said, "Look, I'm going to release all these books. You could get a subscription box where you pay this one thing, and then he'll knock these books out, and he'll get them, and you'll get them into your hands," which was huge. Well, now he's refusing to use Audible for his audiobooks because of their percentage that they're paying their writers. He thinks it's too small of a percentage. So he's able to like say, "No, that's not okay. That this is no longer okay in the industry." And he's humble bragging, which
he's really coming from a position. He knows what position he's coming from.
Very
He's
self-aware.
being open about it.
Yeah, he's like, "I can afford this. Other people can't. So I'll stand up." And
That's good. Yeah,
that's
that's a
all.
good thing.
But I was listening to that, and I'm going, "This is good. This is good." And then I was scrolling through videos while I was doing dishes, and an interview with Tupac came up. And he was like, "There's too much money in the world for there to be hungry and starving people and homeless people."
Yeah.
And he was like, "There shouldn't be $130 million lottery when next to the lottery place is homeless people.
Right.
You shouldn't have," and he says, like, "If you earn your money, you earn your money. We shouldn't have megalo rich people that are buying billion-dollar yachts." And I don't remember the numbers and stuff. And I just sat back and I was like, "Well, yeah." And then it brought me back to why don't we have Batman in real life yet?
Yeah. Because good people don't end up that rich is why.
Good people don't end up that rich. You have to sell something to get that rich.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's the same thing like looking at Liver King when he sat there and said, "I'm not on steroids. I'm just perfectly in shape for 6 years."
Yeah. At what, 45 or something,
Yeah.
however old he is? Yeah, that doesn't happen.
You look at extremely rich people. I didn't hurt anybody to get here, and I never did anything shady.
Exactly. Doesn't it kind of make you a little sick to your stomach when, like, you talk about this and everyone calls you a communist? Like, maybe by saying that rich people should have enough at some point.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
that makes me, you know,
Socialist,
a socialist.
yeah. It's weird because and it's a conflicting.
Who worships these billionaires?
Yeah.
Like, these people have done nothing for you. I mean, look, they provide a service, but they're getting compensated way beyond what this service provides.
And let's be honest, if you told me there's a cap, like let's say hypothetically, you put $1 billion cap, nobody can have more than $1 billion. I would not wake up tomorrow and go, "Well, I'm going to quit trying."
Well, dang it! If I can't have $2 billion,
there's no point. Like,
there's no point. No, people would still work for $1 billion.
Yes, but it's a weird battle because I want people to be able to do whatever they want to do as long as they're not hurting people.
Yeah.
But also, I want people to not suck and help people.
Yeah, help people.
Like if everybody who had countless money said, "We're gonna quit putting rockets into space. We're gonna quit doing this, and we're gonna solve the energy crisis." And by that I mean I want to go full Nikola Tesla where we have free energy.
That being said, a lot of the stuff they do to get those rockets into space does help us get to the energy thing.
But what do we get from the space portion of it? If we said quit trying to put this technology into getting up there to fixing here, because how much?
Maybe you're right.
What happens when a rocket blows up?
That's it. That's a lot of money gone.
And what did we learn?
Nothing.
So that's my issue.
No, we learned plenty from rocket explosions. I'm just not an expert on that.
We do learn some, but the way that they go about it is it's we learned this over here so that maybe we can somehow one day put it onto this basket over here and maybe make them connect. Why not put all the money you're putting into this basket first?
Yeah, maybe.
So why not? I'm open to trying new things.
Right. NASA just got a boost to their funds, so maybe we'll get some cool stuff out of it soon.
Why? So they can try to keep up with SpaceX?
No, they're gonna make some cool stuff. Trust me.
You know what I want?
What?
Solar power roads.
Yeah, that should be a thing.
It is a thing.
Yeah.
We can't have it.
Yeah.
Because rich people don't want us to have roads that heat themselves up, light up the lanes, and can protect first responders by notifying and flashing red that there's
That'd
something
be
ahead.
legendary, right?
And there's solar panels on top of being roads, so they can
Power a
charge.
city.
No.
Yeah. I know my hometown could get powered by like 2 solar power roads, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even take much.
Mm-mm.
But you know what? You know what they're trying to put their energy and money into right now?
What's that?
Tunnels.
Tunnels.
Elon Musk right now is really saying, look.
Yeah. What happens if it gets clogged up? Have you seen the Hyperloop? And yeah, that's not good.
He said you can go at least 100 tunnels deep. Well, I would not want to be on level 99.
No. Look,
Trains. We need trains.
Plain and simple, everyone needs to stop the worship of these insanely rich people. They hardly did. I think Bill Gates did some smart stuff.
Doesn't make him an expert in everything.
No. Elon Musk made some smart moves. He didn't invent anything. He made some smart moves. He
hired a lot of really smart guys. Yeah. And like you said, he did smart things. Because people associate Bill Gates with everything Microsoft ever did as if he did it by himself.
Exactly, and that's just not.
He didn't. They associate Steve Jobs with everything Apple did, that he created it by himself in his garage.
No, that guy was more of a face after a certain point.
Yes, and most of them are.
Visionary, sure.
That once you get, but I mean, even this, if once we get enough money, we'll hire people to help us with cameras and help us with this. You push that stuff out until eventually the company's running itself.
Yeah, and then you stand there and hold up the new device you didn't create and say, "Look what I did."
Look what I did, and I'm not taking anything away from any of these.
Sure,
people.
yeah. I mean, the world's a better place because of it. Well, is it? Did Apple make the world a better place?
Yes.
Tell us in the comments if you think so.
I love my iPhone.
I do too.
I'm a big fan of my iPhone. But no, it's weird because I mean I know we're getting into a lot of really weird.
Yeah,
topics.
this is a weird episode today.
Episode.
We just decided to talk today.
And we're gonna go down this road. We're gonna keep on going because I don't want, and I think 99% of people don't want to see people suffer.
True.
99.
Those aren't the people that crawl their way to the top.
Those aren't the people that crawl their way to the top. 99% of people don't like the fact that we have homeless people anywhere in the world.
Right.
Not just America. Because I think Americans have a tendency, and I'm sure other people in other countries too, you isolate problems. And you say, there's homeless people in America. We need to fix that. I agree. There's also homeless people elsewhere.
Yeah.
Can we fix that too?
Right.
Like, I have no problem helping
and
other
people.
We can. And I have no problem helping people in other countries. And it just makes me frustrated when you see people who are like stupid wealthy. Not Conor McGregor, not movie star. You're talking when they start doing math where they say they could spend $10 million a day and for 1,000 years not run out of money. And I go, look, no issue with you having that. But I do have an issue. Why aren't you helping people? And they go, I donate a little bit to a nonprofit. You could stop so much. And then you got people like Ashton Kutcher, who's dedicated a large portion of his life to helping stop sex trafficking and is becoming the face of this. And you've got people that do it. Yeah. But how often do you see that in the news?
It's not. No one wants to hear about that.
I do.
I know you do. But what people want to hear about is all the danger. The world is so much safer now.
It is.
So much safer now, but we hear more about danger now, and that's what sells, and that's what fear, and it just sells.
It does sell, and that makes me sad because I miss good things. I miss hearing about people who are doing heroic things, people who are doing... I had to define hero to somebody. We were talking about some of our favorite superhero movies. And I had said, I had made a comment about The Watchmen. I thought The Watchmen was a great comic line. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, they're not superheroes.
What's a superhero?
That was the question.
Yeah.
And I said, well, anybody can be a hero.
Right.
And it's not for anybody to decide except for the people that call them hero. Mm-hmm. So if Dr. Manhattan saved anybody, they would call him their hero.
Right.
And so we were talking about it, and I was like, you got first responders can be heroes. Random dude at the grocery store can be a hero. Anybody can be a hero.
Speaking of which, I just saw a video of this pizza delivery guy that ran into a burning building and saved like 3 kids. Hero. Named Nick, by the way.
We need to get him on here.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
Let's get somebody make that happen. I say somebody like it's not me, you, and Brandon doing all the work here.
Yeah, let's get our people on
We'll get our people on it. We end the podcast and then we get on it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, but you know what's going to be in the news? Some breakup in Hollywood that didn't actually happen.
Right.
I watched something the other day, or it flagged, and it was clickbait, and it was talking about how, you know, I think it was somebody picked on Brendan Fraser in one of the movies, like off the set. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, who picks on him? And then you click on it, and it was first few paragraphs of, you know, Brendan Fraser's so nice, he's so loving, how could anybody pick on him? And then you get to it, and the co-star picked on him in a good way.
Right, yeah.
And it wasn't at all what it was leading to be. And at the very end of the article, it goes, gotcha, now everything loves him, but hey, please subscribe, please pay for all of these things.
My favorite clickbait is when it goes, huge star exits Marvel property. Click on there, oh my god, what happened? Oh, the guy that voiced the computer in one scene decided not to return. I was like, oh, okay.
Now, speaking of people leaving, did you see House of the Dragon?
Yeah.
The showrunner left?
Yeah, because like his wife played a maid on there or something,
So
right?
From my understanding, his wife, he was one of the showrunners, and he got his wife an acting job as a maid. Now that's the way the article is written. I don't know what her credentials were before. She might have gotten it without him. Usually, if you're married to the boss, and you get a job,
you probably
you probably that. I'm not saying that was the only reason.
Sounds like a little nepotism.
But it sounds like, hey, it's not what you know, it's who you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But so he got her a job as that, and then wanted to move her to showrunner with him.
Wow, that's a big step up.
And HBO came out and they were like, I guess they got into an argument and they were like, you know, she's never been a showrunner from what the article said.
Is she even in the industry at all, or
apparently not?
Just this guy's wife.
Just this guy's wife.
Okay.
And he was so bent on, my wife is going to be the showrunner of House of the Dragon or I quit. And apparently it got so heated they had to get mediators involved and had to have people talk between them. They couldn't meet together. HBO and the showrunner could not meet together.
Wow.
And he quit. And I'm like, hey, I'm all for stand by your guns, but you just left arguably one of the biggest shows right now.
Right. And possibly doomed it to mediocrity.
That, and also now...
Let down the fans.
Well, that, but also, like, who's hiring you?
Yeah, after that, no one's going to work with that guy now.
No, because, hey, I've got an idea for a show. It sounds like a good show. And I've got the perfect person to play this.
However, yeah. That's ridiculous and unprofessional.
And you see that happens a lot where people bring on people that shouldn't be in those roles.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Well, they were best friends. At a certain time, there's business and then there's friends and family.
Yeah.
And sometimes they mix well. Tim Burton pulls his same 8 people to everything he does.
They can work their property. They can work that property.
It works. He's got a style. They've got a style.
His wife just happens to look like a Tim Burton character. So.
And his friends and everybody in his circle looks like he drew them to life.
Exactly. He was drawn to them for that reason, probably.
I mean, Adam Sandler did it with the Happy Madison franchise.
Yeah, I mean, they're all the same guys because they know what they want. You can build a franchise around these people.
Yes.
But when you grab someone that's just off the street, I would say off the street, it was his wife, but from what I can tell, I had no prior experience or anything like that. Just say, here, she gets to do this now. That's crazy.
You can only lie on your job application so far.
Yeah, it only gets you, so far. Like
there comes a point in time where you have to prove that you can do the work. It doesn't matter who you are, what your name is, how much money. None of that matters if you can't do the job at a certain point.
Like, I can't run a TV show.
I have no idea.
Even if I married that guy, I still couldn't run a TV show.
Well, no, I have no idea. I'm a writer. I could probably write, and I've taken classes on script writing. I could probably write something that resembles a script.
Right.
It's not going to be a final product.
Right.
And then if you told me, hey, if let's just say I catch lightning in a bottle, 1 in a million chance I write a decent, good script. We edit it, we fix it up, boom, this is a script, let's make this movie. And a production house says, Nick, we want to make your movie. We agree with your script, go ahead and make it. I have no idea what step 2 is.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, what else do I do?
Yeah, I wrote a script. I don't know how to get a producer, a director, how to get a set, how to get equipment.
Right.
I don't know how much any of that's supposed to cost.
I imagine the production company would handle that, but still, you don't know that.
I don't know that. And even if the production, I don't know if they're taking advantage of me. I don't know how much I'm supposed to get paid. I don't know what big of a say I get into it. I don't know any of this stuff. And like I said, there comes a point in time where if you just don't know your job, and even in our lowly field of retail, they have hired people in to run multi-million-dollar businesses, to run and be in charge of 400 and 500 employees, and their resume look great. And day one, you start talking, and you realize they don't know. They don't know anything. Somebody made this resume for them, and they fabricated a thing or two. And it not only hurts them, but it hurts the 400 people that are working for them, and the customers, and it hurts everything.
Yeah.
So I'm all for everyone get a shot. You know, do
Shoot
your
your
thing.
shot.
But there comes a time when you need to know. You need to be able to do what you say you can do.
Yeah. That being said, there are professions you can lie your way through because they don't matter. But we're not going to say those on the air.
You're talking about politicians?
Yeah. Everyone Google George Santos. Is that his name?
I don't know.
Santos with an R next. Yeah, Santos, Republican, New York. Google that guy.
Lies.
He said his mom was a Holocaust survivor or something. Wasn't.
Oh yeah.
Santos isn't his real name.
A lot of politicians have gotten caught lying. It's all a joke. If people who get really into politics, and we're not a politic podcast, we don't get into it. We're not going to tell you what to vote or what to do. But people who get, to fisticuffs over this stuff, it's no, they don't care.
Same thing as worshiping billionaires.
Yeah, they don't care about
us.
They don't care about us. I have never heard a politician that I said, this guy is somebody, I follow everything this person. I've never met or heard a writer, a famous person, TV show, nothing. No. Nothing. I've never looked at them and said, that's somebody that I can, except for Keanu Reeves, that's somebody that I will take unsolicited advice from.
Most of these people are from affluent families. They didn't live the same life.
Just so happens. Now, there are people, especially nowadays, with cell phones and TikTok fame, you got people that are coming from nothing to something.
Yeah, and you can tell sometimes, too.
But then a lot of them disappear very quickly.
Well, that's the thing about it. You look at that kind of fame.
Yeah, look at like the 90s, early 2000s. We're still talking about Britney Spears.
Yeah.
She's still in the news.
I don't think she's made good music in a long time either.
I don't know if she's made music.
By the way, that's what she's famous for, everyone. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
And then we talk about Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise. Most of these are older actors and actresses.
Yeah. Brad Pitt, he continually makes good properties.
Oh, some of them do. But look in the last 15 years, how many people have become the next thing.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And then, they're gone.
Yeah, true.
They're multi-billionaire, musicians, gone.
Yeah.
Lose everything. Multi-billionaire TV, gone. Lose everything.
That is something.
What is his real name? Played on Big Bang Theory. Sheldon.
Parsons.
Yes.
Bill Parsons?
Is that it? Maybe. I don't know. We don't research any of that stuff. But was the lead in one of the biggest TV sitcoms, quit it. Like, just ended it. They had a 2-year contract.
He played a purple alien voice in one movie, and that's all I've heard from him.
He's done, oh my goodness, he did that one, the space movie. Oh my goodness. No, the live action one about NASA's rockets.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, phenomenal movie. I have to look that one up. That movie was absolutely great. Me and my kids watched that.
We're gonna record the name later and just edit it in crudely. It's gonna sound horrible.
Brandon just added in.
He's gonna record it on his iPhone speaker, so it's gonna sound terrible.
It is called Hidden Figures.
Never mind, we're just gonna do that.
Hidden Figures. Oh, love that movie. Love that movie.
Oh, it's about the women that helped on the
that solved all the math problems.
Yeah.
And we're killing it. And Great movie, great movie. Watch that movie. But he was in that small role, and he's done a lot of random small roles. Nobody really talks about him anymore. And he was at the top. Big Bang Cast was everywhere on 7 nights a week. Boop, gone.
Recognizable guy. If they see him, they know who he is.
But now, what do we know him from? That one thing, Big Bang Theory. But even like I said, musicians, bands, we still are talking about the emo bands from our childhood are doing a reunion tour.
Oh man, oh.
But name any of
my back.
Name any new emo bands that are still together, still withholding the test of time in the last 15 years.
Modern Baseball, Front Bottoms,
Never heard of
Citizen. Sorry, I still listen to emo music.
Are they at the level of Blink-182?
I would call them emotional post-hardcore or post-punk. No one's at the level of Blink. No.
First off, you just listed off. That's too many genres.
Sorry, yeah, you're right.
There's rock and roll.
I was music nerding. Sorry.
Would you have 14 subjects?
Look, Blink-182, just like
Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, you're not. That's honestly, you know what the thing is? They don't play that kind of music on the radio anymore.
No, but they're still relevant. People search that music out.
Yeah, that's how you listen to music now. You don't really find music on the radio anymore. It's the same songs on the radio. Every song on the radio sounds the same. I couldn't tell you who's singing them.
Well, what's his name? Charlie Puth? Is that his name?
Maybe.
Couldn't tell you anything about any of his music, but apparently he's like got perfect hearing and perfect pitch. Where he was like, I watched an interview where he like dinged a glass, like he flicked a glass. It was like A sharp, and he dinged it again, and somebody hit it on a piano, and it was perfect.
That's cool.
And it's mind-boggling what he can do. And he even took on one of the talk shows, he took a glass, took a spoon, hit it a few times, recorded it, and then made a song like 45 seconds, just pitching it differently.
That's pretty crazy.
But
this is an artist?
Yes. Well, he came out and he said everything on there is like the same 4 or 5 chords, and it's in the same rhythm, and then had him play it. And I think what's the ginger's name?
Which ginger?
The ginger musician. I don't know anything about musicians. I don't listen to music like that. If it's not movie scores...
Oh, I know this one. Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran did the same thing. He said to list off anything in the top 20, had a guitar, played the same 4 chords, and sang everything.
Right.
And he was like, they know what gets famous.
Yeah.
And they literally take that and plug that in.
It is the same music.
It is the same music.
Because I remember My Chemical Romance used to play on the radio.
Yeah.
Like on top 40 stations.
Fall Out Boy. Cobra Starship. Panic at the Disco.
They play them on the radio. And
yep.
They don't do that anymore.
I don't listen to radio anymore because it's all absolute garbage. I'm okay with like if music has an emotional.
Adele. I'll listen to Adele.
That doesn't count.
She's great.
She's fine.
They play her on the radio.
But if you listen to music that makes you think, it makes you feel, I'm fine with that. But if you listen to music that is wildly inappropriate and derogatory towards a gender, towards a race, towards anything, it takes me out of the enjoying of the music, and I go, well, I don't like that. I can't say that around my kids.
Right.
I don't want my kids saying this to other people. Right. And then if my kids can't listen to it or watch it, 90% of the time I don't because they're awake when I'm awake.
That's my house is small, so like, I can't just send her to her room because she'll hear it anyway.
Yeah, same thing. Same thing here. My kids are smart enough to open doors now. Weird, they're 10 and 8. They can open doors. Yeah. So I close the door, and my house is 100 and something years old, so it doesn't have locks. So I close the door, and they go, okay. They turn the handle and open the door, and like, did you mean to close it? I don't know. So, but I said, fame is so weird. TikTok, Vines, which are dead now.
Yeah, that was cool while it lasted.
Vines was cool, but people got like stupid famous. You have streamers now, like Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah,
that play video games. Huge.
I bet someone told him, "You can't make money playing video games, son." And he does. It's awesome.
And I think at one point in time he was developing maps for Call of Duty.
Really?
He actually helped develop them.
Oh, that's cool.
So
you would know, right?
Yeah. But then even pre him, you had your Captain Sparkles, during your Minecraft fade. They're already starting to.
Yeah.
Starting to go out.
I mean, look. Here's the thing. Once you make your money, some of these guys honestly
don't care.
Yeah, people change. I mean, most of these people started when they were 20.
Yeah.
By the time you're 30, your tastes change. Not mine.
And
but
you're
I'm
old.
just kidding. Yeah, you're getting old.
You're decrepit.
And there's other things you want to spend your time on too, I'm sure.
Well, I think when you do stuff like this, like what we're doing, play video games,
Mm-hmm.
watch, when you do this stuff for free, or you even pay to do this,
Right, which we are.
which we are, we pay to do this, and this takes time. I come home from work exhausted and tuck my kids in, and then hop on a computer and
Yep.
start uploading and editing. When you do this for free, I couldn't see me being offered $1 million and then go, no, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'll take the money, but I'm never talking nerdy stuff with you ever again. This is not. But I mean, and there's even famous people that won't if you say, hey, we want you to come and talk to. You're a writer. We want you to come talk to a bookstore. You're already going to be in town. And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to talk to aspiring writers and inspire the young people.
Yeah.
That's $50,000.
$50,000 for
For
me to
five-
show my face.
For 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, why? If I got offered
You're gonna
$50,000
be-
for a one-time payment for something, that's helping my family in ways I couldn't articulate. What I could do with $50,000 to help my family and to help other families,
Yeah.
to be able to help get food and get people's lights turned back on. So I mean, that's too much. Every time people say, well, if you won $1 million, what would you do? I immediately go, I could help. I could help people. And I mean, I've said this for years. I've told it to you. If this thing took off to where we're making $1 million a month, if I can do this and still work a regular job, I'll still work a regular job.
Maybe. I might not.
Oh, I would. One, you know how much I think about while I'm out running around and doing work and letting my body do stuff?
Yeah, true.
But two, I mean, at a certain point, I only need a certain amount of money. Everything else I have to donate, because if not, I'll buy stupid stuff. Like, you make a jet ski. That's cool. You make a jet ski that goes 500 miles an hour, and something inside of me goes, you need to ride that.
Ride the 500-mile-an-hour
Yeah.
jet ski.
Doesn't matter. And if money's no option, money right now is keeping me from doing stupid things. That is the barrier in my life. Why am I still alive and not in a wheelchair or dead or in jail? Because God has restricted money from me because he knows I have no self-control.
Yeah.
I mean, because...
Maybe I'm just easy to please and don't like exciting things.
But I mean, everybody's got something on their side. But if you had limitless money, if you're building a gaming system...
Yeah, it's going to be hardcore.
I say, you go into Walmart and just buying a cheap laptop?
No. I'm probably going to pay someone to build it for me anyway.
That would eventually bleed out into everything. You're not just going to buy a house. You're going to buy the house you want.
Big house.
And then you're not going to decorate it. You're going to
Pay someone to decorate it with the most expensive things.
And then when it comes time to buy a vehicle, you're going to buy
it's going to be the best vehicle.
And now you have a 500-mile-an-hour jet ski. Congratulations.
No, I'm not going to do that. In fact, if I buy like a sports car, it's never going over 65. 75 if we're on the interstate.
Oh my! I take my Toyota faster than that.
No, I'm a very slow. I don't know if you can tell by the tone in my voice. Very slow guy. I like taking it easy.
So I used to be I got to get to work 15 minutes early every day.
Yeah.
If you're not early, you're late.
That's me too. I show up early all the time.
So then I became salary, and I realized I get paid the exact same amount whether I get there 15 minutes early or 15 minutes late. And then I watched all my bosses get there an hour late and leave an hour early, and I was the one staying. But then I discovered I can listen to books while I drive. So now slow people get in front of me, and I go, oh, I'm going to be in the car an extra 15 minutes. Oh, no.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I'm getting to chapter 37 today, boys. And I sit back and I enjoy listening to my book or whatever it is I'm listening to. And I take my me time.
Oh, yeah.
And I just sit back, and I just finished listening to the Ballad of Songbirds and Snake, the prequel to the Hunger Games series.
Yeah.
Great.
Good.
It was really good. I enjoyed it.
Same author?
Same author.
Okay.
This takes place when President Snow is like 18,
Okay.
finishing high school, wants to go to university. The war has just ended, so like the capital's not a bustling metropolis of wealth. They're all like people got into cannibalism.
They're shaking it off.
Yes, like this is like the 5th Hunger Games. They just started the Hunger Games. They're literally just like throwing them into a field and going, all right.
None of the cool high tech stuff.
None of that stuff.
That's pretty neat.
Really good book. Really, really enjoyed it. And they're making a movie out of it.
Oh, dope.
So I think I think dystopians are trying to come back. Yep.
We need to be reminded of dystopia from time to time.
Percy
fellas.
Jackson is coming out. You got that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got- I think young adult fantasy is about to make a resurgence. You got Percy Jackson, Hunger Games. You got Aragon. I think they're trying to Harry Potter rebooting. Did you know Harry Potter's rebooting? We should do an episode about that. But I think they're trying to. What I really think is they're trying to make more money, and they think there's money left on the table. And I also think they're
Of
trying
course,
to get.
yeah. If there wasn't money left on the table, they wouldn't be.
Touching it.
Yeah.
Because like apparently there's Star Trek shows again.
Oh, there's so many.
I haven't watched any of them.
They're great too.
Are they like Next
I watched-
Generation great? Or
No.
Deep Space Nine great?
No, they're better than Deep Space Nine. Well, okay, listen. All right,
Deep
I'm
Space
not gonna
Nine
get into
wasn't
that.
terrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna get. I liked that. I was young when it came out. Obviously, I liked everything.
Cisco was the captain of. His name was Cisco. How cool was that?
Yeah. But no, the new Star Trek content's pretty good. Discovery was good. I haven't finished it, but it was good.
Discovery was the. Was that the latest one?
Yeah, it's the latest of the mainline series.
Enterprise was the prequel where they made the first ship.
Yeah, Discovery is technically a prequel. It takes place before
Original series.
before original series.
Okay.
Yeah. But Enterprise is when the ship Enterprise first sailed. I say sailed, flew. Is it flying? Space is weird.
Space is weird, and they refer to everything in like nautical terms,
Which
like,
makes sense, I guess. But yeah.
Well, you know my thoughts on space is just water. So.
Oh God.
We don't have time. We need to wrap this up.
That's
here
not
soon.
real. Don't judge him on that.
Space is just water, man. It's just water, man.
Oh God.
We're just another level in the ecosystem,
Yeah.
buddy. No, but so years ago we watched. We watched the original series, and Amber just couldn't get into it. And honestly, if you weren't raised in that,
Yeah, it's kind of hard to just go back and watch that,
Yeah.
especially with all the other Star Trek content out there.
But then we watched Next Generation. Next Generation's my favorite.
It's the best one.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just number 2. Commander Worf. I mean, it's just
Had
Data.
real people in it.
Real people, and then you also had other things going on the Enterprise. You had people getting married, people having kids, people were trying to have a life
Yep.
while also discovering planets
Yep.
and also dealing with the
It was
Borg.
very
and-
personal.
yeah, very very
You
complex.
cared about the random characters that just had one-off episodes.
Yep. I mean, you had a lot near the end. They started bringing in a lot of famous people.
Well, yeah, because the show got big.
The show got big. And then the finale, Riker went through and showed behind the scenes. It was just wonderful.
Yeah.
We watched that. I'm not a big Voyager fan.
That show was okay.
So my issues with Voyager, and we got like 7 minutes left. So my issue with Voyager was they had multiple opportunities to go home and didn't, so they could go help people.
Yep.
And then they would help people and then immediately complain. We're not home. I wish we were home. Why aren't we home? And then a wormhole opens up and they can go home and Q's going to let them go home or they can
Yeah.
save this planet. They choose the noble right thing to save the planet, but then bellyache for the next 3 episodes on how much they wish they were home.
Yeah.
And so like they kept dangling like that commercial with the guy with the money on the end of the fishing pole. Oh, almost got it. Oh, so close. And when that's your main story is get home, after 10 episodes, I was like, just go home.
Oh.
You just go home. But then we watched Deep Space Nine, and that was my first go through of Deep Space Nine. Everybody trashed on it because there's no Enterprise.
Right.
Space station. But man, was it Jadzia Dax? And we bring in this whole creature, and I mean, it was really cool
This
stuff.
is good. I liked it.
It was good.
Obviously, I was very young, but I liked it.
And then we watched Enterprise, and it was okay.
It was okay.
And
That's the thing. A lot of that Star Trek stuff was just okay back then. Discovery's very good.
Yeah.
Um,
And I know they consider it more science fiction, but I consider it a science fiction fantasy. When I think of science fiction, I think of Transformers, steampunk.
right.
I think of like
The Klingon race is more like a fantasy race to me.
yeah, Romulans. I mean,
Yeah.
one I also thought it was how weird that all the aliens in the Federation are humanoid.
Yeah.
Like 90% of the aliens we
Yeah,
find
there's
are
not- there's-
2-armed, 2-legged. They just
Yeah.
have they're oddly human from the neck down, but then they just have it's almost like a mask they're wearing or
Right.
makeup. But no, I was obviously I was really big into Star Wars because lightsabers and wars. And
Yeah.
But Star Trek had depth and had characters that, again, Captain Jean-Luc Picard is probably one of my favorite fictional characters.
Yeah, good character.
Couldn't have picked a better actor. Couldn't have picked he sang.
Yeah, he was very. He wasn't just this manly man. He was
No.
he was very learned and artistic and
one of the
calm.
one of the first experiences to me to watch somebody who did that, but then could also one was very knowledgeable
yeah,
and was very thoughtful, inspired his people, and then flirted with the ladies.
exactly. Yeah,
And you have big burly Riker, and you got these giant ripped
Yeah.
man, and then you've got this little old guy with.
just pointing fingers and telling people what's what.
Let me tell you a funny joke in French, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, I don't have to be 6'3" and 220 pounds of muscle, but I can. I can be both.
Find you a man that can do
I
both.
can do both, and I can fix a light bulb. I just
Dear
carried
Lord.
a table up a flight of obscenely steep stairs. I was out of breath, but that's okay.
I sat in a chair and watched.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I think we're about to end. So tomorrow, when this video or this podcast airs, will be past. We're going to go. Actually, we're taking the Nick Squared Productions or podcast, whatever you want to call it. We're going to go out in the world. We're going to go on a little road trip to McKay's. I don't know if any of y'all have ever been to it. It's apparently from a lot of the comments they said thrift, nerd, and geek heaven.
Wow, those are awesome words to put together.
Yeah. They sell it's a 2-story store, like warehouse that sells comics, vintage video games, books. And when I say sells, I mean thousands upon millions of copies of books from one person.
Yeah, I saw the picture and it's bigger than any library I've ever been in.
One person complained that the bookshelves in some of because they organize it by genre, and if they get way too many science fiction, they double stack. So they're like, you might have to pull shelves out to see the books behind
My
it.
God.
They have dump bins of like Game Boy Advance games.
Yeah, I saw that.
Good
Prices.
Good prices. VHSs for 99 cents, like collector's edition Star Wars stuff.
I guess they have enough merchandise that they don't have to sell you the eBay price, the I know you want this price.
And I mean, if you can get it cheap enough, people will buy cheap things that they don't need because they're getting a deal.
Yeah, they will.
I will.
I don't.
I might be buying your Christmas gifts tomorrow with you there.
Yeah, right.
You go, this is a really cool VHS, and I'll just pick it up and
Hide
walk
it
around.
for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I've done that. I've also forgotten, and then
then
I find
found
the
it later.
gift. Yeah. I also have gifts on my shelf that I was like, this was 3 years ago. They don't know, and I'll just put it.
That's
now it's
awesome.
mine now. But so we're gonna go try it out. Hopefully, we're gonna film some stuff. We're gonna do some cool things. We get a lot of likes and a lot of views on our shorts. Thousands. It seems like people like to watch us be goofy. So we're going to go be goofy in public and see how that turns out. So as always, thank you all for listening. I have been Nick.
I was once Nick.
He was once Nick. And together we are Nick Squared. And we'd like to say, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Couldn't wait for me. We'll do one at a
You're
time.
welcome.
You son of a gun. You're welcome.